This City of Light, A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira with artwork for the opening and thumbnail image by YANE on Pixiv. You can find a link to YANE's Pixiv in the description box. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment. If you aren't sure what to comment, put Ice Pack. Please enjoy This City of Light, Chapter 8. Adrien Agreste, Paris, France, the 8th of December. As of today, Adrien Agreste had a new rule. Never let a Kwami be your spotter when lifting weights. Don't count on him to even notice you need help, let alone go through the call for help protocol he'd gone over with him at least 6 times. And by him, of course, we're referring to Plag. Maybe the other Kwamis could be trusted, but after seeing some of the shenanigans they got themselves into at the Dupang Changs, it was safer to not bet on their decisions in times of crisis. They might be older, but they certainly weren't wiser. So now, instead of lounging in the abyss of anxiety on his bed, Adrien sat on his couch with an ice pack, thinking about what Sabine said yesterday. What Mom said yesterday. She told him to call her Mom. It was a different word than mother. He'd never been allowed to be so casual with the title. But love being yourself? He couldn't see it. He didn't even know what that meant. But he understood one of the ways she described it. Do things for fulfillment, not for a role. A person who was responsible with life would wake early and work out, have a healthy breakfast, and empty his inbox before 8 in the morning, supposedly. And Adrien did just that when he had the energy to do it, but he'd never thought about doing it just because he liked it. He just did it. So today, on the way back from the gym, he stopped at the library. He didn't get anything, but walking the shelves made him feel... he didn't know. It wasn't peace, it wasn't togetherness, but he liked the idea of adding a library visit to his day sometimes. Sure, it's not like he needed a public library with the size of his bank account and with control over his father's assets, but there was something about it. There was something about experiencing life, instead of letting life experience you, even if it was only 10 minutes of his day. He probably didn't get it right, but he'd ask. Sabine, Mom, had a degree in this kind of stuff. Even though she ran a bakery with her husband now, it didn't negate her degree. Maybe that's what she meant. How every love you have will serve you. She might not have a use for the classes she took in her job, but it was there when she needed it. Fulfillment. Spark joy. It was hard to think of those when he had a visit with his father coming up. It terrified him, and he still had no idea how it would go. Would he scream? Cry? Listen to his father and leave feeling twisted? Believe whatever he said? Trauma dump? Get the last word? After everything, Adrien still loved him. After everything, he was still his father. After everything, not every memory was a bad one. And that's what made this hard. He heard Plag burp and remembered he hadn't eaten yet. But how could he? How could he, when one wayward thought made food feel wrong in his mouth? when textures mixed, and when flavor felt meaningless. Adrien should check if it's a no-bones day. Actually, Adrien wanted to call up Marinette, but what if he got in her way? She'd drop what she was doing for him. She would, and that wasn't right. If he was well, or if they hadn't been partners, she'd have better priorities. But what if she got tired of putting him first? What if she blames him for getting in her way? What if she realizes that she loved him because he happened to be Cat Noir, and not because he was her partner? Cat Noir could have been anyone. Marinette could care about anyone. He wasn't special in that regard. Self-care is empathy for your future self. Right? Okay. So even though he was wallowing in self-pity, he could find something to do to help out his future self. The cleaning staff already passed through when he was working out, so... What? A shower? Would that work? Thanks to his lack of spotter, he hadn't got much of a workout in and therefore didn't really sweat, so... What? Food. He should eat something. He knew eating something would help him feel better too, but the last thing he wanted was something foreign in his mouth, or to feel like a child when he choked on a drink. Unless he had carrots. Carrots were a safe bet, most days. Sure, not a lot of carb, but at least he could eat them. Empathy for your future self. Adrien didn't even know what his future would be like, let alone himself. Actually, there was one thing he could do, but he'd have to get a bag of carrots first to eat while he did it, else he'd forget entirely. But he didn't call for it. He wasn't some busy executive. He was just a model with a reduced schedule and too much money for his age. Okay, hug rest. Walk downstairs, but enjoy it. Place A to place B, but enjoy it. He set down the ice pack and made his way through the hall, stopping at the top of the lavish staircase. The windows. When he was a kid, there'd always be a small patch of warm sun that would hit the top of the landing, and he'd pretend to be a cat and bask in it until someone told him to stop. When did he stop doing that? When did he stop appreciating the little things? Maybe this is what she meant when she said experiencing life. Stop to smell the roses and all that. But he couldn't think about that right now. Instead, he crouched down, laughing so hard it echoed across the ceiling. "You good, kid?" Plagg asked, floating down the hall. "I wanted to be a cat," he said, practically yelling. "So then, claws out?" No, you don't get it, Plagg. I wanted to be a cat. And somewhere I lost that. But and then I got to be Cat Noir. Adrien shook his head, realizing how ridiculous it was. And I didn't remember that until just now, because of these windows. "You want a fursona whenever you look out the window?" He shot him a glare, then started down the stairs. Again, old, but not wise, or even empathetic. "I'm gonna apply for college." "Wait, more school?" "Yeah." "Since when?" since I sat on the couch thinking about self-care and empathy. Wait. You're telling me you want to go live with some smelly adult babies who think toilets are supposed to have ring stains? What? No. Ew. Granted, Adrien didn't know how to clean a toilet either, but that's beside the point. I'm gonna get older either way. At least I'll have something to show for it 2 years from now. But Adrien, we could just lounge in a cheese store all day instead. Plug, we've been over this. I have no interest in running a cheese store. But we're already the angel investors for the shop down the street. Come on. He heard his Kwame grumble behind him, but they made their way to the kitchen as a duo anyway. Adrien grabbed the bag of carrots and, just in case, a box of fruit snacks. Those were also pretty safe to try. And as he sat down at his computer and opened the browser, Adrien felt the spike of panic he always got when he tried this. Self-care is empathy for your future self. Okay, let's do this. Today would be the day Adrien actually finished his college application. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 9 is on the way. In the meantime, you can check out these other videos for more fanfiction, and if you're still listening and haven't subscribed, go do that, please. Hit that like button and leave a comment. If you aren't sure what to comment, put Adrien's persona. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!